This is a public service announcement.
Are you or someone you know suffering from anorexia nervosa? What is anorexia nervosa? It is a life-threatening psychological eating disorder. Individuals who suffer with anorexia have an illogical fear of gaining weight, resulting in self-starvation, a distorted perception of self-image, and abnormal eating patterns. A review of nearly 50 years of research confirms that anorexia nervosa has the highest mortality rate of any psychiatric disorder. What are some of the signs and symptoms of anorexia nervosa that you should be watching for, either in yourself or in somebody that you care about? Chronic dieting despite being hazardously underweight and malnourished. Ritualistic eating patterns. Examples of this could be cutting food into excessively small pieces, cutting out entire food groups that are considered a necessity, or refusing to eat at all. An irrational fear of food or weight gain. A wasted away appearance, so sunken face, lack of muscle tissue, and noticeably prominent bones, so they almost have a skeleton-like appearance. Avoidance of social functions, family and friends, so they usually isolate themselves. Body dysphoria, or a distorted perception of themselves. Cognitive impairment, which is usually a result of cerebral atrophy, so they actually lose brain mass. And in women, an abnormal absence of menstruation, so usually it's missing of 3 consecutive cycles. So a common misconception about anorexia nervosa is that the disorder itself is rooted in an individual's vanity and appearance. Although there are plenty of pressures placed on us by society to look a certain way, this is not the only factor that leads to anorexic behaviors. Anorexia nervosa is a complex condition with several underlying factors that include the inability to identify and express feelings that are brought on by negative experiences, personal control issues, self-esteem issues, there's sexuality. These are usually core trait issues, and there's even been links to biological factors dealing with hormones. You should also be aware that dieting and anorexia are not the same thing. The effects of anorexia are dangerous with far more devastating consequences than dieting. There's such thing as fasting, which is kind of the same thing as dieting. This can be for religious reasons, or dieting can be an effort to lose an unhealthy body mass. Whereas anorexia is often an attempt to gain control of oneself. When an individual has no control over life circumstances or the inability to cope with negative experiences, they seek relief through obsessive control of their eating habits and their self-image. Anorexia nervosa should be taken very seriously. It also affects both men and women. You are not alone in the suffering. There is help available to you. And here are just a few people that you can contact in our community here in Regina. Thank you for your time.